Let's look at the dataset once before we move forward. The dataset most of the times is going to have this structure. In the columns, you can see that we have different variables such as order line, order ID, order date, sales amount, and quantity. These are also known as fields. So the fields will be available in the columns. Each row contains one instance or one example. These rows are also known as records. Having a data like this is not advisable. That is, we should not have fields in the rows and records in the columns, because then Data Studio may not pick up the variables properly. So always try to have your data in this format where the fields are in columns and records are in rows. The other thing that you must know is that within variables there is a classification of dimensions and matrix. Dimensions are those variables which contain categories such as male, female, or item name, or color, etc. Basically, these are things which are not measured on a numerical scale. On the other hand, metrics are things which are measured on a numerical scale, like height or weight of a person, quantity of products sold, marks scored in an exam, etc. Although Data Studio automatically identifies which variable is a dimension and which is a metric, it sometimes makes a mistake. For example, if you have a column like this order line column containing a set of numbers used to identify different transactions. Because these are numbers, Data Studio will think of it as matrix. But these are not numbers in the real sense. This value of 2 is not twice of this value of 1. They are just order numbers and not a parameter measured on a numerical scale. Similarly, variables such as zip codes or postal codes are often misjudged as metrics because they also have numbers in them. In such a situation, we may need to correct them manually. Now, why are we concerned about metrics and dimensions? Because both of these have different types of visualizations. For example, in a bar chart, on one axis you have the dimensions, such as the country names. And on the other axis, we have metrics, such as the total number of cases. However, if you plot a scatter plot, this is a scatter plot. This kind of chart has metrics on both the dimensions. So we will discuss all these chart types later, but remember that we need to specify which variable is a dimension and which is a metric, so that we can correctly use that variable while using that variable in a chart. That's it about the dataset structure and the terminology of dimensions and metrics. See you in the next video.